to The Opinion. Today we're talking to a young entrepreneur about how to make your dreams come true, how to build up something sustainable, and how to inspire other people. Her name is Paula Whitelock. She's beautiful, and man, you're lucky today because she's single. Hi, Paula.
Only an entrance from Gwen. That is the best. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, thank you for coming. I was really excited to interview you because you're my friend, yes. But you're also a very inspiring person. So
thank you.
I want you to talk to us a little bit, for those who don't know you yet, about you and what drives you in life.
About me, so as Gwen said, Paula Whitelock, and I'm owner and head stylist at Hair Designs by Paula. We're located in the west end of Ottawa, 198 Green Bank Road. So I started my business when I was 21 years old. I've now been in business for 3 years, going strong, thanking God every day. So I definitely would say, for myself personally, God is definitely one of the people in my life that drives me to continue to do what I do every day. My clients also definitely give me a lot of drive. I have a lot of great clients, Gwen, that come into my shop like yourself. I have such a great opportunity to meet so many different people that help to, form different things in my life. Like, for example, on Saturday, I was having some trouble in the morning. I needed to breathe, and long behold, I had a life coach in my chair, and she kind of helped me through that little time I was going through that morning. And I didn't know she was a life coach until I voiced what I was going through to her. So I'm very fortunate to meet so many different people. And success, I think success is something that should drive everybody. You should want to achieve more in this world. We have so much opportunity, especially being in North America, and I believe we all should be taking more advantage of it with education. I'm an Algonquin graduate, so there's so many things, Gwen, that drive what I do. That's just a few of the things.
And you're really young, Paula. You opened your hair salon at the age of 21. I mean, at that age, a lot of people are still like in school, at college, at the university, wondering, what's going to happen to them or what they're going to do, what career path they're going to choose. For you, it's as if it came natural. I remember your speech at the Black History Month Gala where you won an award, and you were saying that you were charging people at like a young age in the basement of your parents' home. And how did you always know that?
I always knew.
Yeah,
this is passion. This industry, the beauty industry, hair, makeup, fashion, these are passion-driven industries, and I was very blessed to find out from a very young age that this was what I was going to do. I didn't really know when. I didn't have a timeline for. I kind of thought that I would be opening my business at 30, to be honest. I thought I'd be on a cruise ship, cutting hair, something along that line, but the plans for me were very different, and I'm very happy that everything kind of rolled itself out the way that it did.
Well, what was the process? How was that process of, you're 1 minute you're in your parents' basement, doing people's hair, and then the next you're a salon owner. How is that?
It was very fast for me. It was not as planned as I tell other entrepreneurs to do. I would tell any entrepreneur to have a business plan, to really know what you are going to do, because now we don't have the time to just jump into something and hope it's going to do well. You really should work on planning things and having things written out on paper, and making sure that you can foresee a little bit into the future, especially with the way things are today in today's world. It's not the same. You're not able to get loans as easily and things like that. So if you don't have any solidarity in what you believe in, then you have less of a chance for it to thrive. So I definitely, that's my number one thing that I tell any entrepreneur, is have a business plan.
And has it been how you wanted it to be or how you expected it to be? But before you even answer that question, we're just going to take a small break. We'll be right back after this break. Paula will be talking to us about her expectation and what the future holds for her.
Hi, I'm Melissa, the commercial director of MyLikeATV.com, the first Afro-Caribbean web television. Would you be interested in having your commercial viewed by over 2,000 viewers and consulted in over 5,500 pages? If so, contact us at d.operation@mylikatv.com. Thank you for listening and stay tuned.
And so we're back with Paula, and we're actually asking her, so did everything happen the way you wanted it to happen? And did opening your business meet all of your expectations?
That's a good question. I don't think anything happened the way that I would have thought it would have happened. If anything, it's surpassed my expectations in the best ways. As I said, having so many different people come into my chair every day, just meeting these people that are in my life, my clients become my family, and anybody who comes into my shop, I treat them as that. They do turn into my family. My mom's in every day. So I
your mom's awesome, by the way. She's like my auntie now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think people that came from my basement into the shop would have expected, my mom to be feeding them the same way in the basement. But so that was maybe the only thing that didn't quite meet my clients' expectations. But for myself, everything surpassed my expectations in the best ways. It's allowed me to be more insightful with myself and with my business, and to make sure my mind stays open, because there's so many opportunities that can pass if you don't take that time to really listen to what somebody may have to say. So it definitely has opened up my views.
Well, you're a person who's a very caring person from what I've seen, and a very driven one as well. Coming into your shop, it's rare not to see you interact with your clients also on a personal level, and becoming an auntie to so many little kids who come into your shop. How do you build that trust with people? I think it's a gift, but how is that you're able to create such strong relationships with others? We don't see that all the time with people, and especially a business like a hair salon where it's pretty much an in and out thing. But you actually take the time to build relationships with people.
That's a choice that I've made as a business owner. No matter how big my business will become,
Amen.
I plan. Yes, amen. I plan to always keep that personal relationship with my clients. As you know, I'm Auntie Paula. I have little girls that I've been, doing since they were 18 months old, and now they're 7 years old. And I would never change the relationship that I have with my clients. I think people feel energy. They really can feel when somebody is genuine and when they're not. And for myself, it's very easy to be the way I am, because it's all just how I am. It's just me being me, on a bigger spectrum. So I plan to definitely keep that relationship going with my clients, because they tell me how much they appreciate the personal relationships that we have. So getting that feedback from my clients just allows me to keep on doing what I'm doing.
And what are some of the challenges that you've met going into this business?
Challenges, there's definitely a lot of challenges that any business owner faces, whether it be mental challenges, whether it be with employees, whether it be with finances. The major challenge that I deal with, and especially the salon industry deals with, are employees. for somebody like myself, having such a small business and having clients that I treat as my family, my stylists need to know that this is the way that I run my business, and that is how they are expected to act when they're in the salon. So that's definitely the biggest challenge, is finding that person to fit the mold that I see for my clients, not just for myself, but it all comes down to the clients, because without them, then the finances are not taken care of, and Hair Designs by Paula wouldn't really be there. So I definitely make sure that I feel my staff out. I have two wonderful stylists that are with me now, Patrice and Angel. Hi girls, love you. And they're my sisters. These are my sisters. So anybody who is working with me, and notice how I said with me, not for me.
Exactly. And that's important, right? We'll talk about that, because with me and for me are two different things. We'll get that chance right after the break with Paula.
Hi, I'm Melissa, the commercial director of MyLikeATV.com, the first Afro-Caribbean web television. Would you be interested in having your commercial viewed by over 2,000 viewers and consulted in over 5,500 pages? If so, contact us at d.operation@mylikatv.com. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned.
Welcome back. So Paula, before the break, talked about something very important, which is this idea of working with someone, with people, and not for people. It's interesting that you were saying that, because even with other projects on which we worked on, such as I Am Fashion, we've seen that when you work with people and don't work for people or make people work for you, the relationship and the result is even better.
Exactly. That's definitely something that I've noticed over the 3 years of being in business. And people appreciate the personal relationships. They definitely feed more off of positive feedback rather than the negative. So the more that they feel like they are a part of, the easier it is to just roll out whatever is trying to be done at the time. It just makes a big difference, and it's something that I've found, and that's why I carry on that way.
That's great. I mean, and honestly, this is one of the reasons why I believe your business is so successful, just your ability to connect with people, to understand the other, and to respect them and see them as equal as you, and seeing the young ladies that you work with, you open doors for them as well, and you give them this great opportunity by letting them know as well that you're all in this together and that you're all learning from one another. I think that this is awesome.
Thank you.
You're a beautiful person. So we talked about the challenges. So now after the challenges, let's talk a little bit about the lessons, because I'm sure that there is plenty of lessons that you've learned since you began your journey.
My goodness. So many lessons. Which one to touch on first? It's such a great process running a business. I definitely wouldn't change anything for the world. Along the way, there's just so many things that I've learned, and it's great to be able to pass that on to fellow entrepreneurs. There's so many lessons. I just wouldn't know which one to there's so many to reveal.
How about
there's so many that I want to reveal.
When I'm sure there's days, like many other people who are starting a business venture, there are days where you might feel down, and I know you, and I know that you won't even think of giving up, but there's these days where you're just like, I've had enough. Has that ever happened, and how do you tackle those?
Everybody has those days. Never once did I question what I'm doing or my passion for the industry, the passion for my business, those questions are never shooken. They're never shaken. They're never moved. But you definitely can find yourself asking, was this the right thing to do at this point in time in life? And for me, I believe that everything happens for its reasons. There's a reason why I was chosen to start my business at 21 years old, and there's a reason why I'm, going on 24 and still continuing my business. So that's definitely the biggest lesson. The biggest thing I can take out of that is just a reminder of how far you have become. Anybody starting off a business, you have to remember that this is a big feat to start a business. It's not, you don't want to minimize your efforts. I find sometimes it can be very easy to take this large thing that you have just done, something that you're so proud of, and say, it wasn't good enough. This shouldn't have happened. You have to really remember that everything you're doing is great, everything is for its reasons, and everything will always work itself through as long as your mind is where it needs to be, as long as you stay focused, you keep that passion for your business. That's the big one. I think if you don't have passion for what you're doing,
Absolutely.
then you're not going to give your whole 100%.
And on that word, on never giving up, you were 21 when you opened your business again. One last thing that you can, one last advice that you could give to these young people that do want to open their business as well, whether it's a hair salon or anything else, but who are hanging around people that are not necessarily allowing them to grow into the business people or into the singer or into the dream that they already are, but that they just have to push a little bit more to discover. What one advice for them?
I would say to remember going along with energies. Like thoughts attract like thoughts. So if your thoughts are positive and your actions are positive, then that is more than likely what you're going to get as a result. Association breeds similarity. So being around people like yourself, Gwen, is only going to benefit each other because we are like-minded and we're both trying to achieve, wonders in this world. So definitely keep yourself around those people that are helping you push up in the world, not these people that are helping you to stay at the same level that you're at, because we all have the ability to rise in life. We all have it. It's all in us, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that it's there.
And you just heard it from a person who won a leadership award at the Black History Month Gala and who has just been nominated, congratulations, by the Nepean Chambers as a young entrepreneur. So you heard it from Paula Whitelock. Keep your eyes on the prize no matter what. Everything is possible in this world.